Hello everyone and welcome to my first verbal countdown. In anime countdowns there is nothing more common or popular than the intro countdown. It is standard fare in the anime community, creating a huge amount of joy in the viewer for seeing something they agree with, or sparking some of the biggest flame wars over which intro is better and why. Before we begin, I think I should start with the obvious. This is my countdown and thus is entirely my opinion. I hope you enjoy it, but keep in mind there is every chance that if an intro you like isn't on here, it is either because I don't like it, or if I haven't seen it yet. If you disagree with my choices, or you think you could do one better yourself, feel free to leave a video response and I'll watch it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. The standard rules of countdowns apply, only one per series, meaning for long-running shows with multiple seasons there will only be one intro, if any at all. Also, these intros are only from anime I have seen, and as I've said earlier, there are a lot of anime out there and a lot of good intros that I've likely not seen yet. The intros are selected but not ordered by the following criteria: visual quality, action, and music. They are ordered by how much I like them personally. Also, on another note, the intros to Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball Z have all been excluded from this list. Why, you may ask? Because Dragon Ball Z relies too heavily on action, Digimon relies too heavily on music, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Has nearly no lyrics to speak of. But what about Pokemon? It has great lyrics to be sure, but it fails the action criteria and its value in a countdown is purely nostalgic. More to the point, everyone already has these in their countdown, so I'm trying something a little different. If you want to find out what was on this countdown without having to listen to me talk, I will upload a video with just the openings later. So without further ado, let's start the countdown. The first entry is from Dantalian no Shaka, Kras Numquam Skiri, which I believe roughly translates as "to never know tomorrow." It's an interesting intro, as the whole thing is entirely in Latin. Now tell me, when was the last time you saw that in an intro? Low on the action criteria, but the music is superb. My favourite part is the dissonance between the soft, lilting siren song and the iron golem attacking in synchronization with lightning strikes. One of the best intros I've ever seen, and given the language it's sung in, it deserves special mention. Did you think you were watching Matrix the anime? Well, you're wrong, though the basic premise of the show is the same. Number 19 is Crossing Field, the first intro of Sword Art Online. The intro doesn't really get good until about 45 seconds in, when we get this part. From there we get our action criteria, which might I add, is done beautifully. I like how it has two versions of Asuna on either side of a transparent barrier. It really does capture the aspect of life in SAO, reality versus the game. It's watching this intro that makes me remember how much I enjoyed the first half of Sword Art Online, which I think I'll go and watch again now. Back in a moment. Right, where were we? Right. Intros. I want to change the world. 情熱絶やさずに、だからの未来へ手を伸ばせば輝けるはずさ。It's wonderland. If you hadn't guessed it yet, this intro is called Change the World and is from Inuyasha. You will notice a trend in the intro selected for this countdown. Almost all of them have some sort of melody, they're easy to listen to, and this intro is no exception. It meets the action criteria, with Inuyasha fighting within 20 seconds of the intro beginning, followed by the main group being chased by demons, who are all sucked into the black hole on Miroku's hand, and what is left dispatched by Sango wielding a boomerang. A boomerang in feudal Japan. This intro also scores points for making Inuyasha seem even a little bit nice. It's saddening to see how he turns to see Kagome, disappears, turns around again to see his old love Kikyo, and gets himself shot. Poor guy. It makes him seem sad, lonely, and in need of friends, and lo and behold, it's his friends, riding on a fire cat thing. Oh well, this intro definitely meets music, touches on action, and almost makes you feel sorry for Inuyasha. And this is about as nice as he gets through the entire first season. Gotcha, didn't I? Well, this isn't the intro, as you may have guessed. No, the intro is not to Cardcaptor Sakura. At least, it isn't the first one.
Wind, rain, shadow, wood, sword, thunder, power, sleep. Cardcaptors of the cloud expect the unexpected now.
Now isn't this so much better? They made this intro so much cooler and darker than the first one, which was all blossoms and sweet. Bleh. They got everything right that made this anime look freaking awesome. The lyrics are short and easy to remember. Seriously, if you try, you can recite the whole thing after hearing it just once. They have the mystical symbol, they have the chanting, which to those of us who've watched the show will realise in the names of some of the cloud cards. They have the old bound book on a pedestal, and the lyrics tell you what the anime is about, but at the same time they don't tell you enough, so you're actually forced to watch the show to find out what's going on. What are these cards? How are they released? Who's that kid with the sword? Overall, nice intro.
Cardcaptors!
さあ、始まるざますよ。行くでかんす。ふんが、まともに始めなさいよ。あいまい参戦、それぶりってことかい。ラッキー文化制服、ラフリってことない。頑張っちゃ、やっちゃっちゃ、そんとっちゃ、ちゃんリリースよ、汗、汗、始まりだいんだい。
Why do I even have this on here? Well, I watched the entire series and for some reason I could never bring myself to skip this intro. Maybe it was because I hoped it would change each time I watched it. Maybe? I have no idea. After the initial WTF moment most people get, this intro becomes strangely addictive. Easy on the ears, and I guess you could count their dance as action, but if this intro was good enough for people to stick Organization 13 members from Kingdom Hearts to it, it can't be that bad. The intro to Is This a Zombie? So you watch enough to see the episode title and figure while you're there you may as well finish the whole lot. The text on the chainsaw tells you who is who and what they are. It even includes a little Sailor Moon rip-off. I find enjoyment out of the small things in intros, like here where they change the direction the clouds travel in. The action is introduced at the end where they all fight a bunch of monsters to swells in the music. Ayemu using his zombie strength to send them flying, Seraphim the vampire ninja cutting them in half with a sword made of leaves, and to wrap it up, Haruna the chainsaw girl who demolishes all with the power of pink.
Their gaze will enslave you.
Number 14. Vampire Night. The intro is probably the best thing about this entire series, but that is a rant for another time. The anime still clings to the Twilight representation of vampires, beautiful beings with special powers to be fawned over. And once again, these vampires try to inspire fear, which doesn't work. It doesn't take the intro long to get into its action. There is fire, ice and blood within 25 seconds. It does have darker undertones, what with the half-formed monster, and who hasn't had a dream about trying to run but never quite getting anywhere. The music is great, it has action, but a lot less than later intros on this countdown. All in all, probably the best part of the series, besides its epic outro. I know this intro was going to get me some comments regarding my taste in anime, but that was to be expected. Number 13 is the opening to Sekirei Pure Engagement. Again, the music plays the greatest part in this, but come on. They have swords and fire. The fact that it's the voice actors for the characters singing is made most apparent in this little bit here. In 12th place is Colors, the first intro of Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion. Thinking hard about it, the reason why this is so high is because A, it doesn't hurt my ears to listen to, and B, because I loved Code Geass. It doesn't rely as heavily on action in its intro to draw you in. It takes a more subtle approach with the music and minimal actual action. Oh, and there's a white and gold mecha, some guy riding a horse, and a strange girl in stranger clothing with green hair. Well, what did we expect? Anime, right? I do like, however, C2 almost swimming in the wormholey thing, then reaching out with her hand, beckoning us into their world, which may not be such a good choice if anyone ever has actually seen the show. Originally I left this intro off due to concerns about who would watch this video. Then I remembered I already have this intro on my channel and decided it was too late to suddenly change my attitude towards potential viewers. So the last entry for part 1 is the intro for Mirai Nikki. My biggest problem with this intro is the sheer level of spoilers it has, which for the people who haven't seen this show I won't bother pointing out. Generally, I'm not a big fan of heavier metal-type intros, but this one in particular never ceases making my heart beat just that little bit faster. The counting in the beginning is done in German, and we even get some English thrown in as well, followed by Well, that.